Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive.
Hmm.
Today, we are jumping into something really special, Alina Cooper's evocative work, Wings of the Abyss.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than just a great story. It feels like a deep look at transformation, finding yourself, finding your voice, sometimes in places you'd never, ever expect.
Yeah.
And it really hangs on this core idea, doesn't it?
Mm.
That there are worlds not above or below, but within.
Exactly. And we see this through Lyra, this young blue jay whose journey is just extraordinary. It really pushes us, I think, to think about things like fear, the power that can be found in silence, and maybe most importantly, the strength of song.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a story about change. Cooper calls it a remembrance, like a call to wake up our own, inner wings, our inner wisdom.
Remembrance, I like that. It suggests something we already know but have forgotten.
Precisely. Trusting that even when you feel like you're falling into the deepest water, there's light, there's purpose to be found there.
Okay, so our plan today is to really unpack Lyra's journey. We'll start with that dramatic fall, move through these incredible realms she discovers, the challenges she faces, and eventually her return, which is really powerful. Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So the opening is just, boom, you're right there with Lyra. She's this young blue jay, loves the sky, and then the storm hits. And it's not just any storm. It's described as wild and angry.
Yeah, unprecedented.
Right. And the sky literally pushes her down. Her wings fold, and she's thrown downward like a falling star straight into the sea.
It's incredibly visceral.
It is. What gets me is as she's sinking deeper and deeper, she doesn't pass out. Instead, there's this soft, pulsing light all around her underwater. What's going on there symbolically? It can't just be a physical fall.
Oh, absolutely not. It's a metaphor right from the start. That fall isn't an end. It's a necessary plunge into the unknown. It's like she has to let go of everything familiar, the sky, her way of being, so something new can even begin to surface.
Oh, yeah.
And that light, the soft, pulsing light, instead of just blackness, that's the immediate clue. It tells you this isn't about oblivion, it's about internal discovery. The usual rules don't apply here. Falling isn't failure in this context. It's the trigger for insight.
And that insight leads to this just magical reveal.
Mm-hmm.
She opens her eyes and she sees these strange shapes, not fish, but birds, with glowing feathers, long tails, flying through the water like it's air.
Wild, isn't it?
Totally wild. And then she's rescued by Oran, this huge and quiet owl creature.
Yeah.
And even though everything is completely bizarre, she feels calm with him.
Yeah.
His first words are just, "You are safe now, and welcome to Abyralis." It's such a stark contrast to the violence of the fall.
It really is. And Oren, he's more than just a rescuer, isn't he? He represents this whole new way of being. His quietness, his presence, it offers safety, but it feels like spiritual safety, not just physical. And Abyralis itself, like you said, it's not just a place. Cooper describes it as the deep realm where song becomes light and flight is reborn through water. It's almost like an inner landscape, a state of being where things work completely differently.
Right. And Lyra's own awakening there is just as mind-bending. She transforms. Her feathers get lined with these soft, glowing filaments. Her body changes, adapts to this new world where, as you said, the water didn't feel like water. It was lighter, almost like air. That physical change seems so tied to something deeper shifting inside her.
Oh, definitely. It's not just adaptation like growing gills or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's presented as a resonant recalibration. Her whole being is shifting.
Okay.
Aaron explains she was called, not consciously, but by her spirit. Because her wings apparently carry more than feathers. They carry forgotten melodies.
Wow. So she was meant to be there.
It suggests a kind of destiny, or at least a deep resonance, an inner capacity she didn't even know she had. And Abyralis itself, with its glowing cities of coral, birds swimming in streams of liquid light, crystal trees, it's not just pretty scenery. It feels like a living system designed to awaken those forgotten parts of her.
And as she's adjusting, she realizes she doesn't need to breathe air anymore. The water is inside her feathers, her bones, even her heart. That feels huge.
It's a massive shift, isn't it? From interacting with the world externally to integrating it internally. She's not just in the water is in her. And Aran guides her, teaches her to dance with the currents. It's about flow, not resistance.
Yeah.
Aran tells her Abyralis is accepting her because she resonates with its own soul, its song. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Her wings, the ones that are changing, they will carry memory soon.
Carry memory in her feathers.
Exactly. He says, everything you feel here, every emotion, every moment will live in your feathers. This is how we remember. It reframes memory completely. It's not just in your head, it's embodied. etched into your being.
How profound.
Isn't it? So when Oren takes her to that quiet pool and tells her, let the water in, she doesn't just get wet. She has visions, ancient birds, a war, a falling star, a cry for help, and then this glowing egg in the dark.
The egg.
And Oren just says, that is your beginning. It connects these vast ancient memories directly to her purpose that's starting to unfold. This raises a pretty big question, though. What does it really mean for memories to live in feathers?
Yeah, that's something to chew on. And that vision, especially the egg in the war, it clearly stays with Lyra. It pushes her to understand what it all means.
Right. She needs answers.
And Oren points her towards the memory coral, described as a massive coral tower that twisted like a spiral staircase, built up over ages, holding the story of Abyralis. This isn't just like reading a history book, is it?
Not at all. It sounds much more alive, like living truth rather than just facts.
So what happens when she interacts with it?
Well, when she touches it, she gets this powerful download, essentially.
Right.
She sees Abyralis' origin, this tear in the ocean's floor that called birds down from the sky. She sees the first transformation, the first song sung underwater, how harmony was built there.
But there's a darkness too, right? The vision mentioned war.
Exactly. It also shows this darkness, a great flock that arose, trying to control things, use power, shattering the balance. And then a sacrifice was made to restore peace, but at a great cost. And Oren gives this chilling warning, it may come again. It hammers home that idea. The past isn't dead history. It's a cycle, a living pattern of harmony and discord that can repeat if the lessons are forgotten. It's prophecy almost.
Which makes Lyra's own journey even more critical. She needs to understand this past to face the potential future. And this leads her to finding her own voice, right? In the Song of the Abyss.
Yes, this is a pivotal chapter. Oren takes her to the Chamber of Resonance, a place of perfect silence.
Perfect silence. How does that help you find your voice?
Because their voice isn't just sound. Cooper writes, it's shape, light, memory, and power. It completely redefines what voice means. It's not just making noise, it's expressing your entire essence.
Wow.
So Lyra tries to sing into this crystal at first, and it's shaky, uncertain, understandably.
Yeah.
But Oren guides her, tells her to sing not from the throat, from the memory. Specifically, he prompts her to recall her mother's lullaby, but not just recall it intellectually, to sing it with her being.
With her being.
And when she does that, connects to that deep emotional memory, the crystal emits this pure, soft light, and Oren says, the abyss has heard you. Now, you must learn to speak with it not just for yourself, but for all those who cannot sing. It's this beautiful moment showing how authenticity, vulnerability, even pulling from your own deep memories. That's where real power, real connection comes from. It sets her up for what's next.
And what's next is not easy. Just as she's starting to find this true voice, a threat emerges. She starts feeling these unsettling whispers, a deep, pulsing hum from somewhere called the Hollow Trench.
Yeah, it's like a direct reaction, isn't it? A counter-frequency to the harmony she's starting to create.
So who or what is it?
Oren reveals they are the Forgotten Ones, the Dark Flock. Ominous name.
Definitely.
They were banished ages ago because they tried to enslave the songs of others, build a harmony of domination, which sounds pretty terrifying.
Yeah, harmony through force.
Exactly. And apparently, Lyra's new voice, this pure vibration that Abyralis hasn't heard in ages, has stirred them up from their banishment.
So she has to fight them, stop them.
Well, interestingly, Oren says her role is to answer them, not necessarily stop them in a traditional sense. She needs to learn the chords of unity so she can sing through the dark. It implies Abyralis' nature is to integrate, to harmonize, not just destroy opposition. It's a conflict of philosophies, really.
Answer them, not stop them. That's a subtle but important distinction. And things get even more intense when Oren leads her to this forgotten ridge, a sleeping reef. The water there is cold, heavy.
Yeah, you feel the mood shift.
And Oren stops, and for the first time he actually speaks aloud, calls out a name. Valoon! Who is the Valoon?
Valoon, he's awe-inspiring. Described as massive, wings wider than canyons, feathers like flowing stone. He's the oldest voice of Abyralis.
The oldest voice?
Yes, but here's the thing. He sacrificed his own song long ago to seal the dark flock away during what they call the first dissonance. He hasn't sung since. He embodies this ancient, patient, silent wisdom.
Wow. So why is he waking now for Lyra?
He rises because the seal holding the dark flock is weakening. But crucially, he doesn't rise to fight, he rises to listen. Abyralis, it seems, is waiting for Lyra's voice to act as a partner to his ancient power. It shows just how pure and significant her awakening is, that it can break this ancient silence.
So what happens?
Lyra sings just a single true note, and volumen. He begins to sing back. For the first time in lifetimes. It's like this ancient unifying power is stirring again.
That must have been incredible, the loon song. It's described as being felt rather than heard.
Yeah, like a deep vibration through the water, through everything, and it acts as a call, a summons for a great gathering.
Right, because now Lyra has this mission, doesn't she? To unite all the scattered flocks of Abyralis. And it's mentioned that some of them no longer trust the old ways. So it's not going to be easy.
No, it's about rebuilding trust, reminding them of a shared identity, a collective memory. And she has to approach each flock differently, respecting their unique nature. It's really smart leadership.
Okay, tell us about the flocks.
So first, there are the fire-winged. They live near volcanic vents. They're bright, fast, and proud. Fiery personalities, you could say.
How does she win them over? With power?
No, interestingly, she uses a steady note, soft but brave. It shows them that true courage isn't just about being loud or aggressive, and they respond to that inner strength.
Okay, who's next?
Then she goes to the glass beaks. They live in frozen trenches, and they are silent and sharp as crystal. Very different energy.
So silence meets silence.
Kind of. Lyra saying not to break their silence, but to show she could endure it. She meets them on their terms, respects their way, and earns just a single faint note in return, but it's enough. It shows the power of shared quiet, of patience.
Fascinating. And the third group?
The singing swans. They live in beautiful sapphire gardens, described as gentle but guarded. They actually test Lyra through harmony itself.
Yeah.
They have her sing lullabies, but in reverse. It's a test of skill, maybe, but also of something deeper. Lyra succeeds because they recognize her heart and her truth in the song, even backwards. It shows that real connection goes beyond just following rules.
So she managed to unite all three. Fire-winged, glass-beaked, singing swans.
She did, and the image is amazing. Birds of flame, ice, and song circle behind her, forming a spiral of sound.
It's more than just an army, isn't it? The text says, this was more than a gathering. It was a choice to restore not just peace, but the memory of being one.
Exactly. And the result is this current of light flowing through Abyralis, a vibration that's described as a harmony that was not perfect, but alive.
Not perfect, but alive. I love that.
Yeah.
It suggests unity isn't about everyone being the same.
Precisely. It's about a living resonance, embracing the differences, but aligning on purpose. The imperfection is what makes it real, dynamic, adaptable, and that's crucial for what comes next.
Okay, so they've created this living harmony, but there's this ominous feeling, right? A calm before the storm.
Definitely. The harmony is spreading, but there's also this awareness of something heavy, unseen, and rising from below. Valoon feels at first he trembles, and then this jagged, hollow sound starts cracking through the currents.
It's not just a physical attack coming, is it? It feels like a clash of vibrations, a clash of songs.
It's exactly that, a clash of essences. This is the arrival of the eclipsed, the name given to the risen dark flock.
The eclipsed.
Gave you chills, yeah. They're described as a vast blackness moving like a living shadow, wings of ash, beaks like blades, eyes burning crimson, pure nightmare fuel.
And their songs are weapons.
Yes. Twisted songs that create a silence so deep it crushed sound itself. It's anti-harmony, anti-life, almost.
How do Lyra and the others defend against that?
Well, initially, Valoon creates this huge barrier of blue light, and the allied flocks use their unique strengths. The fire-winged shoot bursts of heat, the glass beaks cut clean paths through the distorted currents, and the singing swans weave lullabies trying to soothe the chaos. It's this amazing combined effort.
But the dark flock, they adapt, don't they? They start turning the harmony back on them, creating dissonance, fear.
They do. They're insidious. And there's this moment where Lyra's own voice falters, just for a second. You feel the pressure getting to her.
Oh, no.
But then Valoon, he lets out this ancient, true song. Not just loud, but fundamentally resonant. And it literally bends the current, burns through the false notes like sunlight. It's that ancient wisdom steadying the new purpose.
Amazing. So Valoon holds them off.
He holds the line, but the key comes from Lyra. She does something unexpected. She dives into the spiral gate, the source of Abyralis' power.
Into it. During the battle.
Yeah. And from within it, she sings. Not a battle cry, but the song of her own transformation. She sings the memory of falling, of learning to breathe water, of feeling instead of fearing. Wow. And the book says this song acts not as a weapon, but as a healing, a reminder. And it works. The darkness recoils. And here's the most important part. The dark flock, the eclipsed, they remembered they had once sung too.
They remembered.
The battle isn't instantly over, but the relentless push stops because they heard something they'd forgotten in their own darkness. The original call, the potential to return to harmony. It suggests true resolution isn't about annihilation, but about awakening that lost part.
That's incredibly powerful. Healing, not just defeating.
Exactly.
So after this intense confrontation, there's this sacred silence. And Valoon asks Lyra the big question, doesn't he? In the part called the Spiral Ascension.
He does. He asks her point blank. Will you return to the sky above or remain with the deep? Stay or go?
Which isn't just about where she'll live, right? It's about who she is now.
It's totally about identity and integration. And she doesn't just pick one. She looks up, remembers the sky, her old life. Then she looks around at the united flocks, at Abyralis, and she realizes she was both, above and below, sky and sea, song and silence.
She contains both worlds.
Yes. So her decision isn't to choose, but to bridge. She decides she has to carry what she learned back into the world above.
How does she leave?
She ascends through the spiral, the gate, but now it's described as a song made visible. And as she goes, she sings not just her song, but all of them, all the voices of Abyralis. She becomes the song, in a way.
Wow.
The other birds join in, lifting her with their harmony, carrying her into the light. And in that moment, she sees everything, the world above, the waters below, the ancient truths between. She embodies the connection.
So she returns to the sky.
Huh.
Changed.
Completely changed. Her wings look the same, maybe, but they're different in memory. They carry the weight of the deep and the songs of the abyss.
And there's this beautiful idea that the connection remains, right? Every time she sang, a ripple would travel through the winds and into the oceans. Somewhere, far below, Abyralis would listen and answer.
Yeah, it's not a closed chapter. Her personal journey created this lasting, tangible bridge between worlds. It's really quite something. The idea that interchange can literally create new connections in the fabric of reality.
It truly is. And the epilogue, where Wings Remember, really emphasizes that lasting legacy, doesn't it? Her story doesn't just end.
Not at all. It lives on in the wind, in the waves, and in the hush between bird calls. It becomes part of the natural world, and the effects are real. Flocks that had once lived apart now flew together. The air itself carries melodies once thought forgotten, now reborn.
And there are these little hints. Some birds hear the ocean singing. Others dream of Abyralis.
They wake up with songs they had never learned but somehow remembered. It suggests the connection Lyra forged is accessible, subtly influencing the world. Lyra isn't just a historical figure or a legend. She's a living reminder that harmony is never lost, only waiting to be sung again.
Which brings us back to the listener, to you. What does Lyra's journey spark for you? It really invites us to think about the hidden realms within our own lives, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
How maybe our own deep falls, the tough times, could actually be the start of something profound, an ascension we didn't expect. It makes you wonder, what forgotten melodies might your own spirit be waiting to sing?
A beautiful question to end on.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the incredible world of Wings of the Abyss.